heard you speak. I spoke to a group of students, you know, about 2 or 3 years ago, and he said, you know something? I'm only 21 years old, but I'm gonna, you know, open up a restaurant, and I'm only 21 years old. And he said, do you think I can do it? And I said, of course you can do it. The question, do you think you can do it? And he says, I'm gonna do it. And then I said, you know, I'm gonna shake your hand, I'm gonna challenge you. More important, I'm gonna dare you. Remember when we were kids, and someone would say, I dare you to jump over this chair. I dare you to write something on the chalkboard, or I dare you. And I said, I dare you to succeed by the time you turn 22. And I said, listen, you know, when you shake someone's hand, it's a bond. And he says, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I shook his hand. 1 year later, he calls me and says, Mr. Wilson, I said, that's it, please. You know? And he says, I want you to come to my restaurant opening. And I opened up the restaurant, and in Midtown Manhattan, 22 years old. And I said, you know, you start, you know, at that age, and I said, well, you know, give me a restaurant tycoon, give me like the next, you know, big, you know, whether the next franchise or anything like that, but whatever it did. But the key thing is that, you know, how many people would have told him, you know, you're too young to do that. You can't do it because of this. You can't do it because of that. I'll tell you that you need to surround yourself around people that are going to encourage you. Because even if you don't succeed at it, it was a learning experience. How many of you heard the old saying, success comes from good judgment? Good judgment comes from experience. Experience comes from bad judgment. Absolutely. You know, you learn from your experiences. You know, anyone that watches baseball knows that if you're a batting average over 300, you're doing great. You're probably an all-star. But what you're basically saying is you're hitting the ball only 30% of the time. 70% of the time, you're either striking out, or you're flying out, or you're grounding out. And of course, they'll tell you that that's not success, but yet, you know, you get to above 300, and you're an all-star. You know, when you look at a lot of these, and of course, I always use basketballs as an analogy because you know, anyone that's ever played basketball, who here's played basketball for? I mean, we all play basketball. Well, what happens when one team, let's say the score is tied, let's say 50-50, and then one team goes on first they go on a 5-0 run, and then they're up 55-50, and then they go on another 10-0 run, and then they go on a 15-0. Next thing you know it, they're like on a 15-0 run. What does the other team always do? Always. Who knows what they do? Well, usually what they do is they call timeout, right? Usually the other team calls timeout. They always call timeout. And why do they call timeout? Because they need to stop the momentum. And my message to you is, don't let anybody call timeout on you. If you're doing well in your business, if you're doing well in your profession, if you're doing well in your practice, if you're doing well academically, don't let anyone call time out on you, because that is an effort to try to break your momentum. If you've got that momentum, you keep that momentum going, and you'll take it to that next level. And some of them will either come with you, or in some cases, you may have to let some of them go that are trying to hold you back. But you need to know that the rules of the game are whatever you set as that rule. So if you decide that there's no such thing as a timeout on me, when someone tries to do this and go timeout, you say, I'm sorry, you ran out of your timeouts. Because those are my rules. My rule is that this is what we're going to do. And I have to tell you, all of us have had those experiences where you're doing well and someone says, well, you know, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. And we've all had those experiences. And so I would highly encourage you not to let anyone call timeout on you. When you got that momentum going, you keep it going. Last thing, because I know in between your food, is that I've always been a staunch believer that what goes around comes around. And what I mean by that is that when you give back, it comes around. And it may come around in some indirect way, but I would encourage you that as you succeed, and as you begin to do well in your practice, and as you begin to think about where you want to be, and when you get there, remember that always, always and I mean this without exception, always think about how are you going to use that to come and give back. I know that the mayor would love for all of the Perth Amboy residents that have been here or who maybe grew up here to be able to come back to Perth Amboy and say, you know, I grew up here and now I'm doing this. I can tell you, I mean, for me, I've lived in Bergen County all my life. And despite everything that I've done, I came right back to my community. Those that know me in the Latino community, you know, in the Dominican community, in the Latino community in New Jersey, I've always felt that it's important to stay within the community because we need you to come back to the community, and all of you are going to be at your levels of success because your success is a community success. And I got to tell you that it's not just the ratables. I know those are important, Mayor. You know, those are important. But I got to tell you that you know, it's also about you know how you benefit the community. You know, by being here and say, you know what, look what this person's doing here on this corner street. Look what this person's doing here in this business. Look what this person is doing here in the schools. And you start doing that, and then it becomes contagious. And so I would encourage you that as you think about your plans and think about your vision and think about where it is that you want to be, remember that once you get there, because I believe every single one of you are going to get there, that you will do this. Some of you that follow me on Facebook know that every Sunday night I always put together an action plan as I do that. And I do it like a religion because you know, there's an old saying that if you talk about it, it's just a dream. When you envision it, it gets exciting. When you plan it, it becomes possible. But when you schedule it, now it is real. And so when you put something in writing, especially to yourself, you've just made a commitment to yourself that I'm going to get these major priorities done. And then you have it there. I mean, I've been doing this before even Blackberries and others were even around. Now it's much easier. I used to do it with paper in the past. But I actually enjoy doing it both ways. But I got to tell you that when you do that, that it really makes a difference. You know, all of us have that Rule of Diaz within us that says, you know, I have a vision that I could come in and become mayor of Perth Amboy and be a part of the greatness that we have in the city. And I could be an aspect that says, I want to do a café con leche so that we can get Latinos all together throughout New Jersey so that we can see how we can network. And I got to tell you that within this room, you know, there are many people that are going to be doing great things, and I'm sure there'll be someone here that's going to just go like absolutely out of this world and do something incredible. And when you do, you know, I can tell you that that we'll all be clapping for you. We're all going to be very happy for you, and we're going to be wishing that you continue to keep that momentum going. So I want to say that. I'm always you know, a believer that you surround yourself around positive people and it rubs off. And I got to tell you that I feel the vibes from everyone here in this crowd that all of you have great stories to share. All of us have stories to share. And I would encourage you to you know, to do that. So you know, I'm gonna say one last thing, and then just what I'm saying, and then I'm gonna end it. And that is, because I get up in the morning. I get up very early in the morning, around 4 o'clock in the morning. And people think that's crazy. But I gotta tell you, I love getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning because it's peace and quiet. There's no one's calling you. Very few people send emails at that hour. And you can get a lot of reading done. And it's actually for me, it's probably one of my most productive hours of the whole day. But one of the things that I do when I get up in the morning is I say to myself what I call these incantations, you know, because you say things, when you feed yourself, you know, positive minds and positive thoughts, it makes a big difference. One thing that I would say is that when you sow a thought, you reap an action. When you sow an action, you reap a habit. When you sow a set of habits, you reap a character. But when you sow a character, you reap a destiny. And I know that the destiny of every one of you here, I know that the destiny of the city of Perth Amboy, I know the destiny of our great mayor, the destiny of our students, of legendary leaders like Hector and all of you are to actually move forward. Don't let anyone call time out on you. And when you do, you know, take that success and give it back to the community. So I want to thank all of you for being here today. It's been my great pleasure and great privilege to to be here. I was actually going to be at another Café con Leche earlier, and then I got called by the president actually to the White House. I've actually been to the White House 4 or 5 times already this year, and I go back again next Thursday. But I will make sure I tell the president and the first lady, since I'll see them both, that all of you send your regards. And you know, but I'll tell you, but for you, it might be some business leader that you're looking to emulate. But whoever it is, find out who that person is, and then grab a hold of them, find them in some city, and then get their formula. Because I know that every single one of you have what it takes to succeed. And if a guy who came in the mailroom who couldn't even speak publicly because he was a stutterer could be here before you, appointed by the President of the United States on the board of nationals like Raza and LatinoJustice PRLDEF and getting ranked #1, if I can do that, then there is nothing any of you can do. And don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. So I want to thank you again. I look forward to talking to every one of you and networking with every one of you and hearing your stories. And also being able to break bread with all of you. I want to thank again Aspel for putting together a great event. Thank our wonderful mayor, the Honorable Wilda Diaz, who's been an inspiration for all of us. And again, I want to thank all of you for being here. So again, muchas gracias. Thank you very much.